Here we are, viewers, back to the real-time Forex trader. More profits just banked, more videos just uploaded. Now we're waiting for a pullback to get a short on, and there's one. There's two. Right. Stop losses. What did we say? 99.07. Right, what did we short at? 92.6. We'll get another one on here if it goes much higher. Might be a little premature. Right, take profits are going to be down here, so 89, we'll put one at 90 in a bit. And we'll change that to 90.7. Let's put 7, where's that? Yeah, nicely above there. Right, where are we now? 93.6. I don't want to put too many shorts on down there in case it has a run back and I need to average my price up with more shorts, like it's doing now. What was that on at 94.6? Excuse me. Get another one on there. God, it seems half my life all I do is set bloody stop losses. And 90. Right, has that? See, it's come up to there before and not gone higher. So the next question is 90.7. We'll just lift that slightly with a 0.7 in it, and that's just to help it get triggered or filled or whatever you'd like to call it. So look, we've got a spread of shorts on. The market's had a pullback. That was the downtrend. Has it now broken it? It's possible, because it's like it's had a nice little rise there. I mean, I do seem to be doing not a lot but shorts. I mean, one of the reasons for this is that when a market falls, it can fall a lot quicker than it rises. But it does seem that a lot of the time I'm just looking for opportunities to put shorts on, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Certainly not in a rising market, it's not, and I was caught out by that a few Wednesdays ago. And on that occasion I ran out of margin, and I put my stop loss. I thought it was the euro was going to parity with the dollar, and in fact it went 82 pips higher. So I think I set my stop loss at 56 pips or 58 pips higher than parity, thinking, first of all I set it at 5 pips higher than parity, and then I thought, no, there's no way that's going to hold, and it didn't. And the reality is I was in the trade the wrong way round, and I should have come out of it much earlier when I had the first thoughts that they were going to push it to over parity, and they did. And I missed all the easy profits in the market, and I got spanked on my stop loss. I had a huge loss for my account, 20%, which is absolutely diabolical. But you need to learn your lessons, and learn your lessons with trading minimal amounts, because yes, they're very painful, but you can weather them. And the thing about Forex is And trading is, you always have to be able to come back with a clear mind and trade the next time. It's no good if you get wiped out. Blowing accounts is a sin. You know, and some people talk to me and they've blown 10 accounts, and you know, I ask them why and how. You should never be getting anywhere near blowing your account. You know, that loss of 20% in one day is absolutely diabolical. And lesson learned. Stop losses on take profits on. That wasn't a bad run. If we'd have had a final one on there, that might have been tempting to come out here. But we got 5 trades on. 5's, you know, enough. It's enough for scalping, or it ought to be. We're £10 out of the money, and this is typical for Forex. Things go negative before they go positive. This is drawdown. This is why you need to be well funded, because the market can be wrong longer than you can remain liquid. That is one of the golden rules. So you need to trade well within your margins, well within your budget, and you need to be able to accept any loss that happens and it not to affect you emotionally and psychologically. This isn't a game for emotions to be involved. It really isn't. It's a hard, cruel business, and when you learn to master it, you'll be able to take consistent profits out. But the learning curve is steep, and it's cruel and brutal. There's no friends in trading Forex. The market is out to scalp you alive, and it's full of sharks, and they're looking for easy profits to be taken off people who put foolish trades on. And the other Wednesday, when I got properly spanked, that's exactly what I was, foolish. And the professional traders just took me for a fool, and I was. So, lesson learned. Trade within your margins, trade within your capability. Think very carefully about your stop losses. Look at what the market's doing, because sometimes the reasons for stop losses change. Like if this has a really good run up to here, I might have to lift this to about 99.18 because it might go to its previous high. Or maybe I should stop it out before it runs much, but right, 96, we'll have another short one here. Right, what? 96 on my day. 7. Yeah, this is having a good run up. So we're going to do well to get out of all these shorts. Still plenty of margin available. 98, 90.7. Should I have got another one on there at 98? Absolutely. Now, this isn't turning into a scalp anymore. I'm sure that's probably where I should have come out when I was talking about classic cars and distracted. This is one of the things I'm still struggling with, and that is, once I've got a few shorts on, is putting another one on at the top of the market, because I'm worried it's going to go higher. And then, yeah, I should have had one on there. And I'm worried it's going to go higher, and that's what makes me hesitate from putting the last ones on. In fact, what I'm going to do is bring the size down, and maybe that'll make me less nervous about putting the higher shorts on. There we go, coming back down on side. And you see that's forming an uptrend. Yeah, look, that's gone into an uptrend. You know. We've got this bit wrong. I mean, this might have a couple of pullbacks, but it does look like that it's going to go higher. Don't know, it might only come up to 9,900. I mean, is this 98 the peak it's going to make before it pulls back? So if we look before, one peak, two peaks, is that 98? Is that the next peak before it pulls back? Actually, nearly got one on at 98 again. It's these short sales that you get right at the top that pull you back on side quicker when the market reverses in your favour. But you do need enough margin behind you so you can put multiple ones on. What have we got on there? 6 trades. You know, I think the most I've ever had on at £half size was 12 or 13. Here we go, coming back on side. This is all it dropped back to last time. You see, I would have thought there's been some buyers here. 92, you know, some of them can come out with 4 or 5 pips profit there. Now it's a game of patience. So 90.7, is that set too low? So our average price is 93.8. Not really, I suppose, because if the average price, the mid price drops to about here for that to trigger, that would be realistic. There's 3, 4 candles there with wicks on that level's been through. So that's likely to get triggered. Market's turning. This one's now looking like a downtrend. This one's beginning to. This is just beginning to look like it might turn. So we're sitting here waiting. My breakfast is stone cold. Nearly 12 o'clock and I'm still eating cold porridge. Such is the glamorous life of being a trader. Sadly, no swimming pool in sight, no cocktails in sight. We haven't got one on at 98, so we might if it presents itself. You see, was that a pullback? on the uptrend. We'll find out in a minute if this drops back down. That's going back up, that's going back up, that's looking like it might, but we might have a seller here at 98. There'll certainly be some sellers at just over 9,900 like there were here. The sellers come back in and they're quite happy to sell at 99.05. Bang, off it comes 15 pips. Nice profit for a seller who's putting in his sales here. 15 pips, lovely profit if you're a day trader. Well, we've got one on there. $99.08, and did I say 98, 90.7? And if you wonder why all my charts are on a black background or dark grey, it's because when you're in front of screens all day, if you've got them white, the amount of light and blue light that's going into your eyes will make you tired. There we go, 98 momentarily. So the less light that your screens are emitting, the better for your health. You'll find this very relevant when you come to trying to go to sleep, because apparently blue light from screens, including your phone, can make it difficult for your body to get to sleep. And a good night's sleep is essential for traders. So what do we get on? 97.6. We're only marginally higher. But this is just grinding higher, which is no use for us scalping. Almost makes you think we should have left these shorts on, bought on the way up, closed them out round about, well, if we could have got the 98, and had a profit out of that on the way. That's perhaps something I need to start looking into next. Buying on the rising market the same way that I sell into a rising market. Let's set all those the same. Just grinding higher. Sooner or later I would have thought there'd be some sellers tempted back into the market. And this is beginning to look a bit congested, like the sellers are trying to push it up, the buyers are trying to push it up, and the sellers are happy to sell. Just adjust that. Get a short on at 101. Seems a long way away from these shorts. 98, 90.7. Yeah. See, this is the danger with shorting at the bottom of the market. You're trapped in them. Right, now then, is this the beginning of it turning? That's what it made earlier. In fact, that stop was too close to that. That's better. We might be getting another short on here at 5.9905. Well, it shouldn't reach as high as that. But the market isn't perfect. I mean, you're going to get some sellers tempted in soon. I'd like to get one on at 99.05. It's almost tempting to leave one on the order book, but sometimes these things, when they go through them, they spike a long way through, in which case you could get it on at, like, I don't know, 99.07 or 8. And other times they just manage to touch them, because, for example, 99.05 is a psychological level. It's a round number that humans can relate to, and that's why markets often touch round numbers. Right, it's fallen off its peak a bit. Is it going to come back on the side? And if you notice here, pound dollar has done something quite similar. Pound dollar is a little harder to trade. The movements are similar, but the spread is wider. I mean, the spread is more like 1.5 pips on that on the IG platform, whereas euro dollar, especially when the Americans are in the market, is it can be half a pip, and that includes IG's profit margin, which has got their commissions and fees built into it. So half a pip, including their costs, is brilliant. See, at the moment you can see it's just under a pip spread. It just hasn't quite formed a market top yet. I mean, these two might be, if that falls off and then retraces and falls off again. Well, it's slightly frustrating just sitting here watching it all day, but this is the nature of the business. Later on in the day, when you look back at this and the charts are in history, it looks a lot easier to trade. But as you can see, the reality is you've got to sit here, watch it like a hawk, and be ready to move. So this is beginning to come off sideways. Just beginning to trend down. If that can fall down again, we might have established this high and the market to move lower. And if the market sells off from here, 93, 94, if it comes as low as there, you know, that's a good 15 pips for a trader to put on. And 15 pips is a nice trade. I don't know if any of you have been reading books about trading. There's one written about the life of Jesse Livermore. It's over 100 years old now, and he was trading. He started as a teenager, and he was known, excuse me, as the boy plunger, because he would plunge into trades as a teenager in New York, in what he would call bucket shops, and he was one of the world's biggest traders in his day. And I think he went broke 3 times or 4 times. And the book is a series of interviews with him. It's a very interesting book, full of wisdom, even though it's 100 years old. There are still good lessons to be learnt from it. In the last version I bought, there's a 4-piece by Paul Tudor Jones, and he says that he gives a copy of this book to every new employee of his hedge fund. So that's one of the top hedge funds in the world. So if he's doing it, there's obviously stuff to be learned. It's a very enjoyable read. Do have a look. Another interesting book, although it's not related to trading whatsoever, but it does have some very interesting insights into global economies and people and debt and governments, is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's written in very simple terms, but there are some very brutal, stark realities in it. It's not an expensive book, and it's well worth reading. But as I said, it's not directly related to trading. Well, it's had that, but it does give you an idea of the bigger overall economic picture, which is something you should be aware of. See, that was a nice pullback for those traders. Now we need to see this fallback from here. You see, should I have had that 4 pips? Then put the short back on again now. I think we might start doing this because it's scalping in the terms of a longer term trade, which is what this has turned into. So I think we might have that, and then we'll see if we can get it back on again. On a pullback. It's dropping off nicely. So the sellers there will be very happy. That's a nice scalp. See, will it pull back from here? 95. Where is it going to go? Pound dollar selling off. So this is the dollar gaining in strength against both the pound and the euro. Right, this is beginning to come back on side. I didn't get a pullback to get that last short on again at a higher price. Might get a pullback from here because we're nicely under 99.00, so all the people who sold up here and here are nicely in a quick scalp. And now we're just waiting for it to grind lower, and it should come back down to these sort of levels. Bang. Oh, here we go. We're going to get stopped out. Bang, closed in the bank. Look at that. That's why you set your take profits. All triggered, all caught. It's done the easy work for me. Thank you very much for watching. It's a pleasure having you with me. Please give me a like, please subscribe, and please wait for the next video. This is the real-time Forex trader trading euro-dollar live on the market with live account, real profits, real losses, and real money.